So guys, what's early access for at least the two of you that have been living under a rock, obviously? To put it bluntly though, you pay a price to have access to a game that's still pretty early in development. It could be a beta, it could be an alpha, but the general idea is that there are going to be bugs, lots and lots of bugs, some of the features may not be implemented, and you may be getting just a piece of a game for a price that's admittedly usually low, but other times really not that low, actually. So you're still paying real money for it anyways. Now we have two sides to the story. The early access adepts love to say that you're supporting a game and you like, helping the developers escape the grasp of ruthless publishers, who usually take a large share of the profits. But the critics prefer to say that you're paying for an unfinished piece of software, which is true. One that may even end up cancelled along the way, more on this later though, and also doing the studio's task of hunting bugs and providing the valuable feedback that they need, which normally they would pay QA testers for, while you are actually paying them for the privilege. So you're paying upfront for something that may not actually turn out as the developer promised, or get a final release at all.
FreeMMOStation.com.
So technically, we could say that you are buying access to a beta. A decade ago, we still had this very popular trend of releasing a demo for a game to gauge the public interest and spread the word. But as technology evolved and creating a demo disc became a little bit more difficult, the concept is now something of a rarity. However, replacing it with a system where you pay for a buggy and incomplete game, or i.e. a demo, seems like taking the easy way out, and honestly can make a bit of profit from it. Sadly, there's been quite a bit of turmoil concerning at least Steam's early access model, considering that only a small share of the games published through it actually get a full release. So there's the case where a few studios or indie devs are taking advantage of this loophole by promising something, selling it as a full-price beta, and then never delivering on those promises. Players feel naturally cheated, of course, and Valve is finally beginning to notice and considering action in this situation. Sure, saying something along the lines of, maybe in fine print, "This early access game is not complete and may or may not change further. If you're not excited to play this game in its current state, then you should wait to see if the game progresses further in development." But that isn't exactly a lifesaver. It at least does give a bit of a hint for players who are too lazy to think about what they're actually buying into. Which, guys, is always an unfinished product. There's even this issue about valuable player feedback, which most of the time won't actually be used to fix or improve the game, but instead will be implemented maybe in a sequel. So you're paying to find bugs and help with your ideas, and you're using your personal time. Wasn't there something called QA for games, with staff devoted to finding bugs and sorting out the mess? No? Maybe? Or in the case of small individual developers, maybe friends devoted to it. Sounds like something you should be getting paid for, right? Recent statistics say that only 25% of early access games get a full release. That's pretty troubling numbers. From 2013 to 2014, promises are regularly being broken here. Consumers are being deceived, and with the cash flowing in, some developers relax and ultimately miss any kind of deadline, or even cancel the game entirely. You can always say, "Hey, I like to support projects that I believe in studios that are completely reliable," and we're fine with that. However, there's no such thing as a completely reliable studio. Take the case of Double Fine, a developer that everyone loves and has a few Kickstarter success stories. Even the studio canceled the game Spacebase DF9, a game that was in early access and ended up canceled because it required more and more money. Yeah, so those who paid for it were left kind of with an empty shell and two disappointments. First, the game wasn't finished. Second, it was a hell of a fun game. Then you have to cry yourself to sleep because now it's dead. It's gone forever. So this is proof that there's no safe bet with early access. And in case you haven't noticed yet, we're not particularly in love with early access. Sure, we understand how sometimes we just can't resist supporting a game and playing it before everyone else. And we would love to have early access to a few theoretical games like the Nomad Soul 2. But there are more risks than rewards, as well as the chance of getting scammed without even noticing it. So while Valve is trying to improve the negative numbers, and we really do appreciate the effort, this is still a lot like paying a full price or close for really a glorified and overlong demo. One where you will be struggling most of the time to find the fun and the value of your hard-earned cash. In the end, this question remains. Do you really need to play that specific unfinished and buggy game with so many other complete games that you can buy and enjoy immediately? So guys, what is your opinion on the early access model? Do you like it? Do you find it deeply flawed at the moment? What are your thoughts? Please let us know in the comments below.